Hey class, in this video we are going to talk about Photoshop filters and adjustments. And at the end of the video, I'll review submitting the project on Brightspace for this week. So far we've composited our image together, and we're going to make a couple different types of adjustments. I want to talk a little bit about that first. So one type of adjustment that we're going to make is for sort of like realism purposes, or representational is another way of talking about it. So when we're doing that, what we're trying to do is make things look more real, make them look more like they're in the real world. And so that could be like adjusting the lighting, or things like that. The other type of adjustment that we're going to make is more stylization. This is trying to make things look stylized, so make them look not like they're in the real world. And actually, those things sometimes kind of work together. So the first thing I'm going to do is make some lighting adjustments to try to make it look like the lighting matches, because I have these three different sources and they're all kind of like lit in different ways. It's not going to be perfect, but we'll be able to do a little bit more with it. Then we're going to look at some filters just to make it kind of like look more interesting, and we'll talk about how to apply those. So let's talk about the lighting first. Basically, you can see based on the shadows that the lighting in our sort of like main background is like essentially coming down like this. That's why the shadow is cast. You can see there's like a highlight on the top of the pigeon's head, but the back of the pigeon is dark. It's actually more like kind of like straight like that. And then we see this angle of the shadow. It's not super steep. So the sun is probably like pretty directly going down, but it's going in this direction. There's no shadow over here. There's a bit of shadow over here. So we can do a couple things. We can add a bit of shadow to the lizard to add that dimensionality. The lizard lighting is not super clear because there's not that much data, but because the lizard's face is so bright, it looks like it's kind of like coming like this. And the lizard in general has a lot more color detail than this scene. The background scene is very like gray, basically. So we're going to match that up. The pig is like, kind of coming out of left field. You can see the lighting is kind of hitting it like that. We're not going to be able to do a lot there, but we can desaturate it a little bit so it won't be quite as obvious. So those are some of the things that we're going to do to kind of fix this up a little bit. I'm going to start with the lizard. So I'm going to hide the pig. Where's my lizard? Up here. Okay, let's name my layers so I know what I'm looking at. So we got our lizard, our pigeon, our pig, and our background. Okay, so starting with the lizard, if I want to add an effect, there's a few different ways to do this. There's an FX menu down here, which has like some different options. There's also blending options, which we can also use from up here. We're not going to look at that right now. There's also the opacity, which we can fade it in and out. We don't really need that here. Depending on what you're doing, you might want to use that. But I'm going to start with the effects menu. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to go to a drop shadow. Okay, so that is going to bring up like this new window. And it's going to be easy to overdo this, so I wouldn't like go too crazy with this. But basically, we just want to add a little shadow to the lizard. So we're going to turn the angle up like this. So the angle, we kind of want to match the angle of the bird. And then if you take this distance, you'll see what it's actually creating. It's just this like kind of little shadow. So, that's a good way to see it, but we don't want it to be super dramatic. I mean, if you wanted to like make it look like it's floating, actually, that's kind of fun. But I want to make it look more realistic. So I'm going to try to match the bird shadow. The bird shadow is bigger because the bird is bigger. The lizard is pretty small. So let's get the angle. There we go. And then I'm going to increase the opacity a little bit. And then this is pretty crisp. So I want to also match the edge. So that's the spread. So I want to bring the spread down a little bit. And the opacity up a little bit. Okay, and then I think the angle is actually a little bit more like that. Yeah, like that. Okay. And then I'm gonna bring the distance back. I think you always kind of think that you need more than you really do with that. So I think that's pretty good. You know, I could spend a lot of time refining this, but I think that's good enough. So I'm just going to hit OK here. The nice thing with our effects is we can, just like with our layers that we can turn on and off, we can turn off the effects. So you can see if it looks good or bad, you know, based on kind of looking at it with the shadow and then without the shadow. So it looks pretty good, I think, overall. Uh, yeah, okay. So that's something that we can do to kind of make it look more realistic. Another adjustment that we can do is to try to play with the overall colors and the lighting. So there's a couple of different ways to do this. If you go to image and you go to adjustments, there's a whole bunch of different adjustments. If I select a layer and I go to image and adjustments, it's just going to add it to that layer. So one thing I might add to this is just like a basic levels. This is going to let me set the overall color levels of this layer. And so if I do this, there's a few different ways to kind of play with what colors we're getting. So you can see over here are sort of our bright colors, and over here are sort of our dark colors. And then we can kind of shift between them. And this kind of gives us a little bit of a, you know, curve that shows us where the colors are. And so, as I mentioned, the lizard is a little bright for this scene. So I may want to kind of just shift the colors over this way a little bit. That gives me a little bit of contrast. And then I'm going to bring down the output a little bit just to make it a little darker. And so I'll basically play around with those levels till I get something that looks, you know, a little bit closer to the background scene. And then if you want, you can also go into specific channels. So I could go to like the blue channel, and then I can either remove blue or add blue. You don't want to go crazy with this because it's going to look weird. But the background scene is a little more blue than the lizard. So I just want to give it a little bit of a bump. I'm going to maybe just do something like that. So it's not too crazy again, but it's just a little bit more blue. So again, we can turn this on and off to see if we think that that's effective. And then we can click on this button to edit it. Okay. So that's how I can add an adjustment just to one layer. And so that's looking a little bit better. It still doesn't look perfect. There's more stuff I could do there, but that's just one example. So another thing I can add here is hue saturation. Saturation is just how much color there is in general on a layer. So if I turn this all the way to 0, it's going to be black and white. If I turn it way up, then we get these really crunchy colors. So the background image is pretty desaturated. So if I turn the saturation down, I think that's going to help. And then if I make it a little bit lighter, that'll kind of compensate for that. And then I can also use this to shift the hue around. So I could use this to make it a little more blue as well. These things are kind of like duplicating each other now, so I probably don't need both of them. But you know, you can kind of try different things. And there's a lot more adjustments. Obviously, there's more than I have time to go over in this video, but you could take a look at some of the other ones and see if they're useful for what you're doing. Okay, so that's the lizard. Let's go to the pig. Pig is going to need some different stuff. So I'm just going to go to image, go to adjustments. I'm going to go straight to hue saturation because I know I want to take the saturation down. And I want to shift it to the blue zone just a little bit. And I think I want it to be lighter. Yeah, something like that. Okay, actually, that's fine. Okay, so, oops. So that looks okay. It's not perfect, but you know, it kind of gives you a sense of how things look. Okay, so that is adding adjustments and filters to like individual layers, but we can also add adjustments and filters that affect the entire image. And this is where we can get into some of our kind of like stylized visuals. So the way that I can do that is I can go to layer and add a new adjustment layer. And then there's a bunch of different options here. And depending on what you do, you're gonna get like way different crazy you know, effects. So one of my favorite effects that I always use is the gradient map. This is a cool effect because it basically takes all the colors and then maps them onto a set of colors that you choose. And so it's a really easy way to stylize an image, and it's going to make it look interesting, but it's also going to flatten out the color scheme. So we're not going to have to worry as much about the colors kind of like not really matching. So I'm just going to hit OK here. And so notice that the gradient map only affects, this is an adjustment layer, so it only affects the layers that are below it. So if I move it up to the top, it affects everything. If I move it down to the bottom, it just affects the background. So that's another way that you can add stylization, is by having, adjustment layers affect different things. Once you have the gradient map, you're going to see in the properties window there, you can edit the gradient map. So I can double click on this gradient editor, and then you can actually choose, like, there's some defaults here that you can look through, but you can add your own colors. So if you add a default, you can find one that looks kind of good and then play with it. And basically, like the more contrast there is between the colors, the more sort of like exaggerated it's going to look. If the colors are closer together, like here, it's going to look a little bit more normal. Let's see what's in here. They're kind of nice. Okay, that's kind of a good starting point. Some of them are kind of crazy looking. Okay, where did I say it was good? This is kind of a good starting point. So I can go with that. And then if I want, I can kind of move the colors closer together. So the sort of outline of the colors will be a little bit different. I can push a new color on and then kind of use that. So if I click on this line, I'm going to get these new colors. I'm going to undo those. Or if I drag them down, they'll get rid of them. And then I could also just add like a completely different color here, and that'll kind of create these more crazy like color bands. So you can play around with it, you'll get different effects. This is just one of many different adjustments that you can do to kind of create some interesting effects. I'm gonna push this. I think that's kind of cool. And let's desaturate this a little bit. Okay, that's kind of nice. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Okay, so let's add one more effect just for fun. So I'm going to go back to layer, new adjustment layer. I'm going to add some grain. This is a nice way to just like add some noise, some like stuff into the photo to make it look kind of like an old photo. So if I set the amount, you can see it's just adding this sort of like grainy filter to it. So that looks pretty good. And then the size, if I go higher, that looks pretty good. And then roughness. Yeah, I just want a little bit of rough. Okay, so now it kind of like looks like this old crazy image. The lizard is kind of lost here, so maybe I would try playing with the positioning of the lizard. Yeah, if I put the lizard back here, now it kind of, when it's over the edge, we kind of lose its head. So maybe I'll put it back here. And then the pig looks kind of like crazy here. Like it almost looks like it's a building or something. I might almost even make the pig a little bigger. It won't let me transform the pig. Okay. Oh, no, it's just too big. Oh, because the pig image is really big. Yeah, let's make the pig really big. Okay, that's kind of funny. Okay. All right. That's the basic idea. There's lots more options here, so you could spend a lot of time kind of playing with different things. But, that's the basic idea, is to get sort of kind of an interesting contrast of styles that goes along with the content that we've created. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to demonstrate submitting this assignment. So I'll just review those steps. So I'm going to save our Photoshop document, and then I want to post this on the blog. So I'm going to export an image, just like we did with our abstract image. So I'm going to go to File, Export, and Export As. And then for this one, there's a lot more detail. So the PNG is going to be pretty big. It's 3.4 megabytes. Let's see if I try out a JPEG. I think that's going to be a better option for this type of image. Yeah, so you can see the JPEG is much smaller, even at high quality. So it's more of a JPEG type image. It's got a lot of colors in it. So then let's zoom in a little bit and get the quality. So I think we can set the quality much lower because the grain is going to kind of hide a lot of the compression artifacts. If we go to like 0, it's just going to look blurry, or 1. But if I go to like 5, I think that's pretty good. And it's less than a megabyte, so I think that's good for our image size. And we could even make the image a little bit smaller, because 1280 is kind of big for our class blog. So I could actually scale this down to like 75. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty small. So that's going to be good. I'm going to export. I'm going to call this composite. I'm going to put a 1 at the end because I'm going to probably make more of these just so I can keep track of them. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Let's go over to the blog and I'm going to make a new post. And so remember, we're just going to post an image on the blog and then submit the blog post and the Photoshop PSD file on Brightspace. So let's say Photoshop composite image. And if you want to give it a name and, call it something else, that's fine. I'm going to set the category once that shows up. Being a little slow today. Okay, so let's just add the image while we're waiting for that. So I'm going to tab over to the Finder and put the Finder over my blog and then just drag composite 1 on here. There we go. It's being kind of slow still. So let's just, and then we just want a short description. So my composite image includes a pigeon, lizard, and pig hanging out on the edge of a building in New York. And so just write, whatever you think is relevant to what we're looking at in the image. And that's it. And then let's go back and choose our category. So this is a weekly blog post for our image topic. So I'm going to click publish and publish again. And we're just going to submit the link and the PSD. So don't forget to submit the PSD on Brightspace as well. Let's go over to Brightspace while that's loading. So I'm going to go to Brightspace and click into our class, and I'll go into Learner View, go to Assignments. This is Blog Post 2, Composite Image. And you can see the rubric here. It's the same as last week. So we're going to add our Photoshop file first. So I'll go to my computer, go to Upload, go to the class folder, Image, and then find the correct PSD. So make sure it's matches the project. So let's open that. And that file is getting a little bit bigger because we've added a lot to it. So it's 28 megabytes. Let's upload that. And then hopefully our post is done. So I'm going to copy the link from here and paste it in there. And there we go. So that's everything that you need to do for your project for this week. Remember that my videos are just demos, so you should kind of elaborate and go further than what I'm doing in the demo. But those are the basic techniques that you want to use. I'm going to make one more quick video where I talk about writing comments on the blog. So that'll be the last video for this week. So I'll see you guys in that video.